I did not expect that. Dragon Quest VII is being remade, again, as Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, and this is just the most random thing ever. I can't believe they announced this. I mean, DQ7 of all games. That is a choice for sure. Now, there is already a lot to unpack here. This remake is looking like a very different game than the previous versions we've seen. There's a lot of great additions and improvements we see here, alongside some very, let's say, concerning changes as well. My feelings on the game are a bit conflicted given some of the things I've heard, and I think some longtime Dragon Quest fans might feel the same way. So today I'm going over Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, and why you might be both excited and a little worried. So this is the second time Dragon Quest VII is being remade in full 3D. We already got a remake way back on the 3DS, but what's different this time is that they're opting for a brand new look, dubbed the Diorama style, which uses actual handcrafted dolls scanned into the game to give it this unique style. And I actually think the game looks really nice. It's different. It reminds me of those stop-motion Christmas specials you would see on TV as a kid. This is just a very nostalgic art style, which I think is perfect for a remake of a classic game like this. The visuals give off this kind of warm feeling that fits the tone of this game specifically. DQ7 was always very unique, representing this sort of awkward transition from 2D to 3D, so I can kind of see why they went with this. It almost feels like this was what they were trying to go for back on the PS1 with those FMV cutscenes that just looked absolutely awful. The execution is obviously a lot better here, looking closer to an animated film, and I really have no complaints. But this remake isn't just a graphical overhaul, the gameplay is also getting some new additions. On the overworld, we have roaming monsters on the field that you can battle, just like the 3DS version. However, what's different now is that you can actually attack them and do damage on the field, being able to dispatch weaker monsters without actually having to go into battle. And this is a really great feature that cuts down on the tedium of running into weaker enemies. There's also a new moonlighting feature that lets you train 2 jobs at once. You see, the original game had this really crazy job system with tons of possibilities, but it was very grindy and you could only train 1 job at a time. So it really seems like the team is putting a lot of care into streamlining the experience with these new gameplay features. Other additions include jobs having these unique perks that can be activated in battle. The game now displays type weaknesses, showing how effective your spells are against the enemies, which is a first for the series. And there's a more efficient auto-battling feature that doesn't require any player input at all for us extra lazy adventurers. There's also this new arena feature that lets you fight super bosses, and it's already confirmed that we'll be able to fight the main villains of the Erdrick trilogy, the Dragon Lord, Malroth, and Zoma, and these arena challenges even come with special rewards like Erdrick's sword, which never appeared in this game before. There's even unlockable costumes based on Dragon Quest heroes from previous games. And that isn't even mentioning the collector's edition this time around, which actually looks really nice. It comes with this huge ship in a bottle, and it's just way cooler than the one they did for Dragon Quest III. There's honestly a lot to appreciate here. It really lives up to this being a reimagining rather than a simple remake. And it really is a shame because it seems that in the dev team's quest to cut down on the original game's tedium, they also seem to be removing content to streamline the game even further. For starters, the original game's monster classes that let players get monster abilities are now being completely removed in favor of the moonlighting feature, which means they are removing dozens of unique classes with special abilities. I can't believe they are doing this. That was one of the original game's coolest features. You could get any monster's abilities, so there were endless possibilities, and now they're just removing this from the game. And that's not even the only thing they're cutting. You see, Dragon Quest VII has these stone tablets that let you go back in time, and they each contain an entire scenario and a story. The whole game is structured around finding fragments of the tablets hidden across time and piecing together the past. There's a bunch of tablets to discover, like close to 20, and from what we've seen of the new remake, it looks like they're cutting that number almost in half. It is confirmed that the dev team is cutting entire subplots that they feel aren't relevant to the main story. It looks like just about half of the pedestals from the original game are missing in the new remake from what we've seen. So you might be thinking, why on earth are they doing this? Why cut content in a remake? Well, if you don't know, Dragon Quest VII is a weird game. It's well known for being the longest game in the entire series, with the original version on PS1 taking over 100 hours just to finish the main story. DQ7 is an absolute behemoth of a game, a true testament to the ambition that this team had back in the 90s. It's an episodic time travel adventure where you use clues and hints to piece together a larger story. They were really trying something wildly different with this one. And yes, it is a bit of a slow burn. The game really takes its time to establish and develop the world you're in. Spider-Man, especially in the opening hours, which was roughly 2 hours of investigating and solving puzzles, all without a single enemy encounter. It's the type of game you're supposed to play over the course of a long period of time. Rather than being structured like a movie, it's more like a long-running TV series, almost feeling like it never ends. By the time you finish it, it feels like you lived an entire life in this world, and there just aren't a lot of games that give you that feeling. This is a true epic tale in video game form, and I really appreciate what Dragon Quest VII brought to the table, but clearly not everyone feels the same way. This is a divisive game and the developers know it. When announcing the game, the creators have stated that they're reworking the story for modern audiences to enjoy, and that the narrative will be better paced, making the game much more approachable and accessible to play. See, even they know how notorious the original game was, and I'll admit, it wasn't a perfect game. If you played the original DQ7 and took a break for a few weeks, when coming back to the game, you could legitimately have no idea what you were doing or where to go next. There were glaring issues for sure, but at the same time, the game's sense of discovery was unparalleled because of how it kind of let players loose and allowed you to figure things out for yourself, solving puzzles and using the time travel mechanic to uncover secrets. The game made you feel like a globe-trotting, time-traveling adventurer, and it's because it didn't hold your hand. If they could figure out some middle ground between the original game's sense of mystery and investigation, while also not making things too confusing, it could be a good thing for the game. I just hope they don't sacrifice the original game's identity for the sake of appeasing a wider audience. So yeah, it does suck that they're removing content, but it also seems like they're adding new story elements as well, so they may be trying to balance things out by introducing new plot points. And it does seem like they're expanding the story in this remake, as at the end of the trailer we can see a mysterious hooded man who never appeared in the original game, and I immediately knew who this is. I would recognize that giant chin anywhere. That has to be an older version of Kiefer, something fans have wanted to see since the original game, and it might be finally happening. So even though they're removing some things from the story, they may be adding something even better. So there's a lot to unfold here, but the truly exciting part of this announcement lies in its implications for the future of the series. I never expected this game to get a remake. If you asked me before which Dragon Quest game was least likely to get remade, I would have absolutely said Dragon Quest VII. This is the least beginner-friendly game, it's the most obtuse game in the series, and it has a massive script they have to work with. Overall, this has to be the toughest game for them to remake. So now the floodgates are open. If they're remaking this, they're remaking the whole series. They have to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw remakes of the Zenithian trilogy, 8, maybe even 9 in the future. It's obvious now that they want every mainline game on modern storefronts, and this game essentially marks the beginning of a golden age for Dragon Quest releases. So overall, the announcement is both exciting and a little bit concerning, but for now I'm trusting the Dragon Quest team to deliver an experience worthy of DQ7's legacy, and I can't wait to see what they add to their remake. If you enjoyed this look at Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, you should check out this video too. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. I'll see you there.